Today is a very exciting day. It's a groundbreaking ceremony for the modernized John B. Dye, which is supposed to be finished in 2020.
We say that a building has a useful life of maybe 50 years. This building just celebrated its 60th anniversary, so it's long overdue. Even though we've done some additions over the years, it's long overdue for a thorough and complete renovation and some additions.
Since 1998, $620 million have been invested in the modernization or replacement of our oldest schools in Virginia Beach. John B. Dye will represent the 23rd elementary school to have been modernized or replaced in the past 20 years.
Big things in the next about 32 to 33 months. We're building a new cafeteria, new gym, new kitchen, renovating the old cafeteria into a new library. We're tearing down the gym over there, and then every classroom gets renovated.
It's a phased modernization, so right now we have 8 portables on site. There'll be 12 more coming. Pretty much renovating and upgrading every inch of the school to keep up with 21st century learning.
Our partners are so important because they help our students learn to engage in some of the aspects of the economic development that's going on.
The students have gotten a lot smarter, right? And the technical knowledge has gotten a lot more complex. But we're getting really, really great students. The classes are getting bigger. That just shows us that the demand is there. And you know, the reoccurring theme is that high school students are really not being challenged enough. And that's one program that we have right here that is really pushing them beyond their limits.
You see and you remember, you hear and you forget, you do and you learn. And by actually having the classes out to the park and learning by putting their hands on the cables and adjusting zip lines and using the measuring tapes to measure different distances, it's something that they're never going to forget. And it's a great feeling knowing that every student that left the park after their field trip left with something that they're going to remember for a while.
Some students light up when they talk about the history and they see the airplanes. Some of the students get excited, you see their eyes light up when they see the technology transition from 1918 up to the 30s. It was a major advancement in engine power. It's a full spectrum to see that. If this museum is to continue, it is to educate the young kids as they grow. So being a part of that means a lot here to us at the museum.
This is about the children and the youth. It's about these high school students that took an interest to stay after school, meet with someone like me. We have an apiary here at Kellum, so we go out and do hive management. We do lessons in the classroom. So they take a full day of classwork and then they stay after and form a club, all volunteer, and they stay because they have an interest in the environment and protecting our honeybee.
It's one thing to say that you want to help people, but to actually come alongside somebody and build a relationship with them and see them change over the school year and see their light come on again in their eyes and be excited for school, be excited for their interaction. You know, the student usually runs to the mentor and gives them a hug and is so happy to see them. And so the mentor walks away feeling like they've really made a difference.
One of the biggest issues with children today is that they don't have that #1 fan, or they don't have someone in their corner that's just cheering them on or saying, you can do this. They just need someone to say, yes, you can. It's not impossible. You know, it's only impossible until you do it.
Schools can't do this work alone. It truly does take an entire community to raise our children. And so to have people who say, I want to be a part of that, and I want to come in and I want to offer my expertise. And we want to make connections between what kids are learning in school and what's happening in the world. All of those things are just so exciting and so important to our work.
I was living in Bahrain, and there I met someone from States, of course. So I came to States with the diversity lottery visa. I got my own apartment, of course. I got a job, got engaged 1 year later. 6 months later, we got married. Going about cosmetology. So of course in Romania, I had a high school program, but for some reason it wasn't equivalent to the US requirements. So the cosmetologists say, well, unfortunately, you're going to have to go take a GED so you can come back to us. So this is where my GED story starts.
She understands the importance of education. She understands that she did not have to come into this program knowing everything she needed to know to pass the GED test. She understood that we were going to support her in her efforts. And she took our support as well as her studying and her preparation on her own to get to where she needed to be, which is pass the test. So in regards to her future, it's nothing but a bright place for her.
If you don't understand something, they will stop and ask. Anybody has questions. And of course, if you are interested, again, you're gonna go and ask. Can you please repeat that?
She was so determined, so into it, just would not let anything stop her. Dorena worked 2 jobs while she was here working to receive her GED certification. She was just determined to not let the portions of the GED test hold her back.
Never give up. Never give up on your dreams and your hope. And I found a quote. It says somewhere that if you're not willing to learn, no one can help you. But if you are determined, nothing can stop you.
Well, today is our 9th annual STEM Trifecta. The event is made up of 3 parts. There is a robotics competition that runs elementary, middle, and high school, where students are taking on a challenge to create a robot to play soccer. And a lot of those skills transfer into programming and design, engineering, and those sorts of things.
Every single one of you today has put in incredible time thinking about the challenge, learning the skills that are necessary, doing more work in the classrooms and in the labs just to prepare for this one morning. And I gotta say, that makes every one of you, in my mind, an all-star.
I'm so excited. I have so many kids who never thought they could operate robots and program robots, that to see them here operating them and making it work, troubleshooting, problem solving is really amazing to see.
In the end, we worked really hard, and now we're at our competition, which we have four rounds of soccer balls, which our robots are designed to kick them and pick them up. So all the months of hard work are finally paying off today.
We are at the STEM Trifecta Challenge. Our side here is the cybersecurity portion of that. So the kids use either Python or Scratch programming to design an application of some sort to meet an undermet need in education.
We made a kiosk that would allow students to check their grades with their fingerprints very securely and quickly. The students will walk up to the kiosk that we made, and they can just put their fingerprint on the fingerprint scanner, and they will be able to check their grades.
And this year, the really big new thing is what we call a STEM playground that is being sponsored by our partners over with Instructional Technology. And it is an area where students can try some different robots. They're using round Sphero robots and running them in paint and actually painting with those robots by rolling around with the paint. And there are lots of different activities that they can try with those robots.
We wanted to have professional musicians work with middle school kids so they would get really the feeling of what a professional musician went through and what they did and how they could help them and help each other, and then have them play together and then have the experience of a performance with them. We did a clinic today where we had flute players work with flute players and clarinet players work with clarinet players and so forth throughout the band. So all the woodwind players were individualized and all the brass players were as individualized, and the percussion players, we had them on stage as well. So it was really kind of fun for the kids to see and hear individual instruction from each one of the Navy personnel.
3, 4.
Mr. Poe, the director of bands here at Old Donation, reached out to us over at Fleet Forces and requested us to come over and sit with his students and have a little clinic, run some sectionals, help them work on a few of the pieces that they were playing here this afternoon, and then we were going to break into a concert for the rest of the student body.
I learned a few warm-up tricks actually, and ways to practice basic skills, such as tonguing and really just learning to get the air moving. And of course, it was great to work in sections with a leader who could really tell us what to do.
Well, I really like music because a lot of people in my family also enjoy music and play instruments as well. So because of my family, it really influenced me and I've grown to love it.
And as we transitioned into the brass band, we got them up, we got them pumping. And I think if kids are having a good time, if any audience is having a good time, they're more engaged and they receive the music well. And what we saw today is the same everywhere in the world. You start playing this exciting, energetic music, and they just respond. They're jumping out of their seats, they're screaming, they're dancing, they're doing the worm up and down the aisles, and it's great to see their faces.
Great job. Great job. Good morning. How are you? Good morning, man. How you doing? Congratulations. Good job. Hey, bud. Congratulations. This is Oceans of Success. It's an incentive program founded by Judge Shadrick, Tom Shadrick, Jeff Bright, and myself in an effort to try and give students an objective of sorts so that they will try and have an incentive to do better and to learn.
I earned my trip at the aquarium by persevering and getting good grades.
We brought 9 students with us. First of all, we'll go to the IMAX Theater, and then after that we break off into teams, and then the students will get to go look around at the different exhibits that are in the hall. And then we'll have a nice lunch. They worked really hard this year. They showed great improvement. That's both in academics, social skills, behavior, had a very good year.
This is like one of the few times I've been rewarded for this, and it feels really good.
It feels good to get rewarded because not many students got this trip.
You know, the goal is to sustain the effort. We're hoping that we can instill some incentive in these kids to not only do well this year, but to sort of spark an interest in learning so that they're successful from here on out.